Good morning and welcome to the WAVY Digital Desk. I'm your host, Sarah Good. Today we are talking about the Virginia International Tattoo. It's just about 1 week away. It starts next week. We've been counting down the days for this for a few months now, working with the Virginia Arts Festival to talk to you about what you're going to see and give you previews. Well, today we have some special guests in the studio. They are coming in internationally, probably just off the plane, and we're going to talk a little bit about what you can expect next week and their role in tattoos all over the world. Good morning. Well, thank you guys for joining us today.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good
How are we
morning.
doing?
And so you're just off the plane about 10 hours ago?
About 10 hours ago,
Yeah,
so
but this
we
is
got some sleep.
Not your first time in Norfolk, correct?
Correct, yes. So we've both been coming here for just over 11 years now. So 2013 was the first tattoo that we did in Norfolk.
So it's been just over 10 years then. So This is familiar to you, but also every year seems to get bigger and better, and you all do offer so much. And I think this year there's 7 different countries, coming together for this. Before we jump into sort of what we're going to see this year, I want you both to introduce yourselves. So can we start with you?
Yeah, so I'm Major Ross McCrindle. I'm an officer in the Scots Guards, British Army Infantry Battalion. My role in the British Army is the Director of Army Bagpipe Music. So I'm responsible for 30 pipe and drum bands throughout the Army, all of their defence engagement capabilities, their musical standards, and how we support events like the King's coronation, lots of sort of high-level ceremonial stuff.
Absolutely, and I think, that is something, at least for viewers all over the world, those are obviously huge spotlight events, so people can relate or at least understand maybe some of the events that you're talking about. Yeah. And then also explain the piece of this, and then we'll get to you about how this is a part of your job, but it is not the only part of your job.
So this was a part of my job because when we came here in 2013, I was the pipe major in the Scots Guards, and the British Army, provided that pipe band to work on the Virginia International Tattoo. But now I'm on vacation, so this is 2 weeks holiday for me, and I come to Norfolk where I'm the tattoo pipe major on the Virginia International Tattoo. Amazing.
And then, Rav, let's go to you. Can you give us a little background, introduce yourself?
So I'm Warrant Officer Class 2 Robert McCutcheon, also the Scots Guards, same as Ross. And my job is the Senior Drum Major British Army for Highland Drumming for bagpipes, for the pipe bands in the Army. And my role at the school is basically to assist Ross to deliver his role and also teach all the senior drumming courses that come through. So all the Army pipers and drummers that come through our school come through our teaching programme.
So you get to say when they're good or bad.
Yes, we try not to say they're bad.
Yeah.
Put some constructive criticism in there. So no, it's good getting to see them develop through their careers as well.
Absolutely, and I imagine you both have been in their shoes at some point or another, so that you can offer that experience, but also that advice.
Yeah, so I was in their shoes 22 years ago when I first joined the Army. I was only 16 years old, so I was a young boy back then. And again, we've run through all those courses, gained all the qualifications to be able to teach them now, in the jobs that we currently sit in.
And I just want to say, on screen here, we're going to be playing some video of, past performances, but this is a good, color and example of what people are going to see throughout in this year's show. What I want to ask, too, is, you've been here now for about 11 years. Is there anything that's changed? Is there anything that's really excited you to bring you back? Do you want to start with you?
Yeah, I think that over the last 11 years that I've been here, the tattoo has continued to grow. And one of the things that's always struck me is that it's completely different every year. So if you came in 2015 and you think, well, I've done the tattoo, I've been to see that, why would I go back and see it in 2024? Then you're in for a completely different experience. And again, one of the other things that struck me about it is just how pure the Virginia International Tattoo is. It's very loyal to the roots of a tattoo, which is a really great thing to do. And it's all about people coming from all different parts of the world, sharing their cultural gifts with the audience who come to see us. And that's something that you would say that money can't buy an experience like that, but it can if you live in Norfolk area, and if you're going to come to Scope and see the tattoo with us. It's a real privilege to be involved in it, and it's something that I would encourage everybody to come and see.
And then for you all, I mean, how does it change every year in your preparation? Do you all try to go bigger and better every year? Do you all try to try out different tunes? I mean, what is that like?
So the music selection every year is completely different. So you won't hear the same pipe tunes and the same sets. So like Ross was saying, it's completely different every year. Again, we do it with the formations that we do with the mass pipes and drums element. We try and make it relevant to the theme for the year of the tattoo, which is always exciting, sometimes challenging, but
And this year has a particular weight too as well. 80 years since D-Day is this year. So I mean, what did that mean for you all?
As in formation wise, or
I guess formation wise, or maybe just
so
the meaning of it.
Well, the meaning, it's quite significant. 80 years since the D-Day landings, but formation wise, we haven't really touched on that element of it for the tattoo, because the tattoo will tell that story.
Right.
So we've used something different this year. Another side of it which is getting celebrated, but I don't want to give too much away. Yeah.
You're going to switch up?
Yeah.
So I think it's the message there is come and see for yourself.
Right.
Yeah, there's a number of things that the tattoo is celebrating this year. One of those is, and I guess we do this every day in service and in delivering the tattoo, is that we're celebrating freedom. And that's something that's very important to the roots of the tattoo and to all the people who work there and live in this area. But we're also looking at, it's quite a significant anniversary for NATO as well, and we have a major NATO headquarters.
75 years, right?
Exactly, yeah, long time. So I guess that's something that we might mark with the pipes and drums set as well. And
last time in one of these conversations just a few months ago, we talked about a story of, the influence on a young man who had gone to see one of these concerts. I know that you all don't, intentionally end up, or like trying to, I guess, influence one person or not, to join or be a part of the military, but that seems to be what happens, whether it's through the passion, whether it's through the performance. How does that feel as somebody who has performed in them, to know that you've touched somebody, to join ROTC, which here is, joining, part of the military?
It's a great feeling to know that these kids are looking up to you and they're trying to see where they could be in the future. I think that the biggest one for us as well is the excitement, and I don't know what's the word.
I think that the atmosphere.
The atmosphere for the student matinee performances is phenomenal, and they pack out the Scope Arena, and you can only wonder how many children within that arena get inspired about what's happening through the story of the tattoo, and also all the different performers and the different countries that people are coming from, and maybe one day saying they could be on the floor as a local from Norfolk to say, I'm going to do this for my hometown.
Absolutely. And one person actually in the comments on Facebook just said their son will be there on a field trip, which I know is the case for a lot of kids, seeing the matinee shows and, being a part of the week. We've jumped ahead, but I just want to say for anyone tuning in, as people are sort of tuning in and out on YouTube or Facebook and WAVY.com, can we talk about what the tattoo means to both of you and what it is? I think, some people hear the word tattoo, obviously they think of a different meaning, but in terms of music, what is the tattoo?
Okay, so it's not the Polynesian body art tradition. The tattoo goes back to a Dutch tradition, and it's a phrase called Doden Taptoe, and it literally means turn off the taps. And this was when, during the days of the British Army being posted in the Low Countries, so France and Belgium, and when the army travelled in those days, they would take everybody with them. There would be families would go, and they would garrison in a certain area, and at a certain time of day, a bugle call or a drum call would be made, primarily a drum call, and it was a signal to the innkeepers to turn off the taps. and that was called, it was shortened from Dodan Tapto to tattoo. And tattoo is still a tradition that takes place in the British Army. The duty personnel in an infantry battalion will conduct this with the duty warrant officer at weekends, and that's for them to receive their orders on what time things have to be closed down, what time certain elements of their duty have to take place. So I guess it was a message. It was a message to the innkeepers to turn off the taps, and it's still a message today. I think in terms of doing musical tattoos, we're giving our message to the audience, and that's it's a real privilege and it's a real responsibility, I think. And the story that you've just touched on about how a young person was sort of was influenced by their experience at the tattoo to go on and do something in that vein. It's a great thing to hear, because I think we should never ever, all of us, we should never underestimate the value of our gifts, is maybe a good way to put it, but the influence that we have in people and our daily interactions with them can be really, really profound. And I think that we're in a really privileged position when we're delivering music on the tattoo to show the best of our own cultures, and hopefully to influence somebody's future. It's a great privilege.
And it's a unique experience, I would say, you know, and you all worded it well. Every year it's different, but also in bringing together different people from different countries and having different audience members. And that dynamic is pretty powerful. And this is something, too, that you all do all over the world. So this is the biggest North America, but can you talk a little bit about your experience, you know, internationally?
Yeah, so again, like Ross was saying, taking it back to its tradition, it's seen across the world, all across the world now, as a military musical performance. And tattoos, we've done tattoos in Edinburgh, in Basel, Switzerland, in Finland, in Denmark, in Belgium, number of places. I'm trying to think.
I think, yeah, so Sydney, Australia, Wellington, New Zealand, Hong Kong, going back a bit further. So all over the world, it's a huge tradition that's sort of spread from Europe right around the globe. So yeah, it certainly keeps you well travelled.
Absolutely. And how does it feel to be performing in these different places? I guess there are different countries, right, that go to each, but is it interesting or unique for you all to even see different performers from different countries and see what they're doing or see how they're presenting their country?
Yeah, definitely. There's always a new experience. And like I said earlier, it's a real privilege to just take the time to listen to what somebody is actually giving to you. And that's different at every single tattoo that you go to. And specifically here in Norfolk, it's just different every year. I have never been disappointed by a single tattoo experience I've had here. It's a phenomenal show.
And even just on a personal level, do you all make friends or contacts from going around the world, I imagine?
Yeah, the friends you make doing the tattoos is it's like you're just growing your family. I done my first tattoo in 2003, and the friends I met on there I'm still in contact with now. You know, it's unreal, the people you meet, and not just the people that you're doing the tattoo with, the people you meet in the local area where the tattoo is getting run. Everybody's so welcoming, welcome you into the town and thanking you for everything that you're doing, and then enjoying the show as well.
And in an area like this, especially where there's such a military influence, I think it's interesting. Is there a military influence in all of the cities that you go to, or is that a unique thing here?
It's very unique here. I wouldn't say it's everywhere, the military existence, but it's definitely one thing that Norfolk is unique for, is that military community that's here.
And I think, too, being here also with the NATO celebration adds a different level, with things going around all in downtown Norfolk, which is interesting. And you all are spending a little bit of time here as well, before the actual show is next week. I mean, what is that like, the lead up? I know that you all have some connections and sort of workshops with other groups here as well.
The lead up's good. It's exciting because it just means that it's getting close. With the workshops that we're doing tonight with the local Tidewater Community Pipe Band, who are also performing on a tattoo with us, and then the local tattoo brewery, the tattoo beer getting launched tomorrow. But also once the tattoo kicks in, we've got the American Pipe Band Championships, which kicks off a week on Saturday. You've got pipe bands that are not performing on the tattoo, but coming into Norfolk for that competition, which is also great for the community as well. And hopefully they buy some tickets and come and watch it.
Absolutely. And I mean, for you too, I mean, how does it feel being in Norfolk again? This is your 11th year, and, you know, continuing this, but also, you know, you all lead the show, really. So what does that mean to you?
So I think being charged with leading the pipes and drums, it's a responsibility because we don't really know what we're going to get until they arrive on Sunday for rehearsals, and it's always different. We're always at different levels, so we have a few days that we need to corral the music and all the marching and everything that goes into it together, so that we're in a good place on Wednesday/Thursday to deliver that to an audience. So it's a responsibility, but it's one that we cherish or we wouldn't come back. And we're still here 11 years later. So yeah, it's a great role to have. And I just, you know, I can't think of anywhere else that does it in quite the way that Virginia does. And just to add to what Rab said, so it's not all about pipe bands. We've got some great sort of...
More than 800 performers.
Yeah, 800 performers, which is huge. We have Highland dancers, we have military music bands, so brass and woodwind bands. We have a rugby team from France. We have a Swiss drum line coming. So there's something in there for everyone. And we also have the US Marine Corps soldiers Marines from Little Creek. So there's definitely there's an element of the show for everybody. You don't need to be a pipes and drums aficionado. We're one part of that show. I'd like to think we're quite an important part of the show, but it's but yeah, we're just
you are in the name. So and I just wanted to list too real quick some of the other nations participating this year. We have Australia, Canada, France. Obviously, the group that you all leading is multinational, Virginia International Tattoo Highland Dance Company, Germany, the Netherlands, Switzerland, and then there's a whole list of United States of America bands that, you know, everything from, you know, Andy's Tartan Army to the U.S. Marine Corps, Fast Company. So, I mean, there's so much to go around, and as you all said, too, the camaraderie of, you know, the different countries coming together for this, I imagine, is just going to be that much more special with that many performers as well.
Yeah, for sure. I suppose, you know, there's quite a lot of things that you could pick out in daily life by watching the news networks that shows how the human race is divided, and I think things like this just show you the best of how we operate together. And that's important because there are so many more things in life that unite us as humans than divide us, and that's epitomised in the tattoo.
That's really lovely, and I think, you know, that's something where, at least in the United States, on Monday, with the solar eclipse, it was a moment, you know, everyone could sort of come together and watch something and enjoy, and that is going to be a similar sentiment, you know, next weekend with everyone here uniting for different countries, but also this shared value of freedom in that message. I mean, is there anything else, you know, that you want either kids to know if they're coming out, adults coming out, especially if people are coming out for the first time? I mean, is there a best viewpoint, you know, that people should sit at? I know that was something that we talked about last time, but...
So so Rab's actually in charge of the formations for the pipes and drums, and what we try to do is that we will construct the formation in such a way that it's not only viewable from one part of the arena, so everybody gets to have a great experience. I wouldn't say that there's a best place to sit. All the seats are great, and if I had a message for the young people who are going to come and see us in our student matinees, that's make as much noise as possible, raise the roof and scream as loud as you can. And for the adults who are going to come and see us during the evenings, just come with an open mind, enjoy it, experience something different. Even if you've been before, it's not the same. And we really look forward to seeing everybody who's going to come and see us. Every one of you is valued, and thank you for coming.
And I know that you all have a long week of, practice and production, process as well. But is there anything else that you're going to add to?
I don't know if I can add anything further to what Rossi just said. But just come and enjoy it and experience it. And if you haven't been before, you ain't going to be disappointed. It's going to be excellent.
Absolutely. Well, what I'm going to do here is thank you both so much for being on today. I'm actually going to leave some music playing for everyone so that they can get a taste of it as well. So if they just give me a second, I'm actually going to play what is some of the performance, I believe, from last year, so people can get a sense of what they will hear, coming next week, but just give them a little taste before it gets started.
Welcome to Music and Might, America's International Tattoo, with performers from 5 nations sharing their unique music, traditions, and culture, and also featuring America's finest military performers. The beat of the drums, the call of the trumpets, the wail of the pipes.
Over the centuries, but as member of Top Secret, you embrace a new obsession, inventing a drumming routine that inspires and surprises audiences all over the world.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rockets upon thirsty river came
us faith, so we'll be saved. To find a place, guide us with your grace, give us faith so we'll be safe. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace.
Welcome to Music and Might.